Well, hi again, everybody. Welcome to another episode of 100 Yards of Football. This is the 2026 NFL Draft Prospect Show, along with Vincent Turner, our co-host and founder, Joey Clinkscales, former general manager, personnel director. He's been a scout at all levels, and Brian LeBel, our NCAA and NFL analyst. Welcome, gentlemen. We appreciate you being here. Our first of many different prospects that we're going to look at. Caleb Lomu from University of Utah. Left tackle, big kid, for obvious reasons. As a sophomore, it's a concern, at least for me, that he's coming out early. But with his size, his speed, especially in the 40, he does some things that are special. He's not going to stick around for his junior year. He had a red shirt. He had freshman, sophomore. You only need 3 years to be eligible for the NFL draft. Congratulations. Good for him. He's going to do it. Vincent, I'm going to start with you. For obvious reasons, big kid, left tackle. He'll probably go as the fourth, fifth, depending on the combine that he has. Give me your thoughts and perspective on young Caleb.
Okay, young man out of University of Utah, I call him Caleb Ale because he's that special. Big 12 academic All-American. But what I like about him is toughness. And he's a guy that's got excellent recovery skills as a pass blocker. Let me lay something down for you. Utah this year rushed for 2,400 yards and 27 rushing touchdowns. What that tells you, he's a hell of a run blocker, in my opinion. But this is the main point, and I'm going to give it back to you, Mr. Hopper LeBel. As a pass block in the Big 12, this season, 382 snaps, 0 sacks. Last year, as a redshirt freshman, 425 passing snaps, 2 sacks. So when you're looking at this young man, I think he's going to be a very special football player. I think he's going to go in the middle of the first round. And I'm looking at the Philadelphia Eagles because, Lance Johnson is getting too long in the tooth. So this young man right here, I like him as a special football player. And he played for a hell of a football coach who's not at the University of Michigan. Y'all know his name, Kyle Willingham.
Yeah.
Back to you, Mr. LeBel.
Yeah, very interesting. And he brings up the lack of sacks, Joey, plus a penalty issue is always one that you want to avoid at the NFL level. He doesn't jump off sides. He's a smart, savvy kid. Give me your perspective in terms of what you think are the pluses, and give me a minus or two.
Well, I think the things you like about this player is he's a big, strong football player. Now he has a lot of negatives, and we'll get into that at some point. He's a little bit heavy-legged in his play, but he's got great technique. He's got great football acumen. He's more of a mauler than a hand technician, and he's a little bit high cut, which makes him high. He doesn't really sink as well as you would like for a left tackle to play. That being said, I really think he's a left tackle because he's so smart and so bright, and you can see the football acumen. He's really a right tackle athlete. So at the NFL level, I see this player as a right tackle, not a left tackle. I love his ability to pull and scoop, get downfield, block. I love his blocking proficiency. He's really effective in a lot of things he does. He just didn't have the great foot quickness, is what I'll say. He's got great technique. He's very smart. He just didn't have great foot quickness. So I see this player as a right tackle in the NFL, not a left tackle, although he can get by left tackle. And I think that's why he did, because he was so smart and so bright. And he's a catcher in pass pro, not necessarily not one of those guys that can punch, slide his feet, get over. He's more of a catcher and then kind of guide his player that way. But all that being said, I do see a lot of things to like. And in the run game, there are times when he bullies guys. He can be a bully. And that's exactly what you like in a tough guy. I'm not really concerned about the fact that he's a redshirt sophomore. He's got 2 years as a starter. He's really bright. And quite frankly, in today's world of football, anybody that has a chance to leave early and is going to be a high pick, you go, because tomorrow's not promised. He could come back next year and tear ACL, and there goes that first round pick money and everything else that goes along with that. So if this guy's going to be a high prospect, which I expect him to, and again, he's a 2-year starter, and he's been very proficient in his play. Kudos to him, and he's going to make somebody a really good football player.
Joey, before I go to Brian, do me a small favor for those that are watching for the very first time. Can you explain a little more clearly or with just a little added detail why the left versus the right tackle would be important for you and why you would switch him over to be on what would be the strong side, not the blind side of your quarterback?
Well, for a couple of reasons. First, the left tackle is really going to face the best athlete. So he's got to be a pretty good athlete. So he's going to face your primary pass rusher. He's going to face a lot of time your undersized edge rusher is coming off the left side. And sometimes that in today's football, they'll switch it up on the right side. So that left tackle athlete has to be really light on his feet. And he's got to be really smart for the most part. Excuse me. And this guy is really smart. You know, the games, the twist, the D twists, and the delayed blitzes, battle. He sees all that, and you can see that in his play, which tells me that's probably why he's on the left side and not the right side. Because if you've seen both of these tackles play, and both of them I think will be first round picks. The other tackle at Utah is a little more athletic, and I'm not going to say he's not as smart as this guy, but you can see the smarts in Caleb's play and when you see this guy. So the right tackle, in contrast, is more, he's going to face that power guy. So you need to be able to not necessarily be able to sink well, but you need to be able to handle pressure right at you, right in your face, a lot of times a lot better. You're not going to necessarily face the best athlete. But again, the defenses, especially in the NFL, those guys get paid a lot of money too. So they know which one of these guys aren't as athletic, and you have a chance to apply pressure on the quarterback, or at least push that guy in the quarterback's lap to get the quarterback off the spot. So those are kind of the differences between the left tackle and the right tackle. The left tackle is historically a better athlete than the right tackle, but in today's football with everything that's happening, and that left tackle is protecting the quarterback's blind side. So that guy needs to be athletic because he's going to face guys that the quarterback can't necessarily see. He has to be able to feel them. So I think all those are factors that come into play when you're talking about the difference in left and right tackle.
Yeah, thank you very much for the clarification. Appreciate it. Brian, we've been talking about how big he is. He runs a great 40 time at 5.00. He may be a 4.9 anything. That's awesome at that weight, that size. He's smart. He's savvy. He looks like he recognizes things real well. Is it also an advantage that he's so young? You may get an extra year or two at a young guy to be able to be at the NFL level when he's literally just basically 20. He's not even able to drink yet, right?
I think that it helps him in the fact that he's kind of wise beyond his years. I think, typically when you redshirt a kid, it's either because you have someone really good in front of him or because you need to give him more time to, figure things out. And his first year, he figured it out, right? He was on the scene. And I think that's why he's leaving now. Because I think depending on what board you're looking at, he's probably a 4 or 5 as far as just the tackle spot overall, depending on what, they can move him left tackle, move him right tackle, depending on if you got a left-handed quarterback, whatever. All the stuff Joey mentioned absolutely factors in. But he's probably still a top 25 guy on the board right now. If you look at his talent, if you look at everything he did in school, a lot of people have him. He's got a first-round grade. I think the only knock on him is he's a little light right now, right? He's just pushing over 300 pounds. And I read somewhere that maybe his reach as far as the length of his arms maybe isn't as high as teams want, but I mean, that's, nitpicking, right? Because it's just, he's very, very good. Vincent mentioned it. I was going to mention he's given up 2 sacks in 2 years. That's spectacular. I don't think he gave a single one this year. So he's done nothing but excel. He's done his job and he's been absolutely dominant. Probably the best Utah, because we talked about Spencer Fano I think it was a month ago. This is probably the best tackle combo in college football, without a doubt. It's 2 guys that are just absolutely stellar. They know what they're doing. They play well off each other. I'm sure they pick each other's brains, right? They understand what's going on. They communicate very, very well. And, both are very smart guys, and you can see it on the field.
One quick thing, Harper, before you move on.
Please, Joey.
The thing we have to realize, especially about a guy like this, a tackle, a running back, somebody that's leaving school early, is that if they're a really good player and they go in and they reach free agency a year earlier. So that means the money from a financial standpoint, that 4-year deal or 5-year deal that they sign coming out, they reach free agency a year earlier, which means right now they'll come in on a rookie deal. that second contract is when they really get paid. So they'll be able to reach that a year earlier. And guess what? He's 21, 22 years old, 20, 21 years old. At 25 years old, I mean, he's able to make $30 million a year rather than the $5 or $6 million a year he's making. So, you know what? If he can stay healthy, he can come in and play and be pretty good. He gets that second contract a year sooner.
Yeah, and the longevity with that, for obvious reasons, if he plays into his early or mid-30s, sky's the limit in terms of how much money he can make. And if you're a starting tackle in the National Football League, Joey, on average, if you make it 1 year, you're going to make it 5. You make it 5, you're going to go to 10. There's just a statistical background to justify the numbers that you're trying to put together there. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Vincent, Joey just basically touched very little on the weaknesses. Is there anything that we need to be concerned about if we're just a fan wondering if a Philadelphia Eagle fan is going, hey, Vincent said that we might get this guy. Tell me some of the things that he needs to work on, or some of the things that he'll be coached up on and he'll be up to speed and be able to be a plug-and-play type guy on game one here in the 2026 season in September.
Well, to me, he probably need to get a little bigger, if you ask me personally, and then just his age. He's a young guy that's going to be coming into the league, but like Brian said, he's a mature young guy, because anytime you got a tackle that's playing in the Big 12, which is competition, is going up against Texas Tech with David Bailey and Ramonio Height, and the guy only didn't give up no sacks and 8 total pressures and 382 pass blocking snaps, bring him on down to the Eagles. And when I think of that, I think of AC/DC, back in black, because this guy's going to be a very good football player. Almost can bank on it. Back to you, Mr. LeBel.
I appreciate it. And Joey, final thoughts from you. Maybe not early in the first round, but like Brian said, 4th, 5th, maybe 6th. If he drops to 7th, that's still not a bad place. That's a high second rounder, depending on how many tackles go. And he's one of those guys that's going to protect the most important guy on the field, right? And the third most important guy when you look at drafting and how you build your team is the guy that can get the quarterback. So he's right there in the mix in terms of his importance, and because of his size, his speed, and his age, he's got so many intangibles that make him a desirable guy, even if it's late in the first round.
Yeah, so I'll say this, and Vincent mentioned the Philadelphia Eagles. And Lane Johnson, who came out of Oklahoma, he was light in the pants coming out. And so I'm not super concerned about the weight on this guy. I think I have him at 308. I mean, if he plays at 315, that's plenty. I think he's going to be on the right side. And Lane Johnson, guess what? Lane Johnson went to college as a quarterback.
Sure did.
So that's what people don't remember. He went as a quarterback, and he kind of morphed his body and morphed himself into a position. And he went from throwing the ball to looking inside at the ball. One of those guys. So, but guess what? So I'm really not concerned about it. He's got the right temperament to be a tackle. He's patient. He's tough. He shows a level of physicality when he needs to. So there are a lot of things about this player that whether he's mid first round, late first round, early second round pick, that all be determined. It's early right now, but I think he'll go in and have a chance to play early, and as long as he's injury free, should have a great career, because guess what? Smart guys play, and he's smart, and he plays with really good angles.
Brian, Lane Johnson hasn't seen 304 since probably 19 years old. So how does Caleb Lomu fit in there? He can get heavy. He can eat some bad food and 3 hamburgers a meal per meal for a couple of weeks. But the 40 time is great. I don't want him to drop that. I want to keep him athletic. I want to keep him at a weight where he's comfortable with where he is and what I need him for. But give me some of your basic overviews before we head on out.
I don't think there's anything as a can't miss prospect. I just think there's so many really good tackles. We've gone over some of them already in this draft class. There's some really good guys ahead of him. I think that's the only reason why he's not ranked higher. He could very easily be the top tackle in another class, but there's some very talented dudes in front of him. No knock on him. I think he's great. I think he's going to make some team very, very happy. It just depends on the fit, right? And he may come out and have a great combine. He might have a great meeting with the team, but he might shoot up a draft board or two, and he might, leapfrog a couple of guys. Who knows? There's still a long way to go until the draft. But as far as, on the field, so turn on the tape. It's there. It's good. He's incredibly successful. He does his job incredibly well. And, he's done a phenomenal job making a name for himself, and there's not really anything you can knock this guy with. It's just it's a bunch of good stuff, and I would be shocked if he's not if he's not getting his name called at the latest the mid to late 20s. Come the draft in April.
Well, if you've got the commissioner of the league calling your name, you're a first rounder. And if he's not there, you're not. So we'll see how that happens. And the University of Utah has obviously been excited to have him on their field for the past 2 years. I know Utah fans will be disappointed that this sophomore may end up going early in the first round, but they'll be excited for him personally, even though as a team, they'd love to have him back for the remaining 2 years of his college career. But he's decided to leave, and we're going to watch along with him. So Caleb Lomu, tackle out of the University of Utah, we wish you well. And this is our view of draft status with him in the 2026 Draft Prospect Show with Vincent Turner, with Joey Clinkscales, with Brian LeBel, and myself, Harp LeBel. We appreciate you tuning in, everybody. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and tell a friend. But in the meanwhile, we hope you have a fantastic